Guys, the skit ends at 27 minutes and 15 seconds. So if you're working and you're frustrated that you can't see the posters and you just want to go to the back end discussion, or you think the skit is complete horseshit, go to 27:15. Hey guys, it's Matt. We've done 2 of Bill's poster nights in the past, and he sent me a lot more that I haven't shown you. And I'm always looking for creative ways to show you some of the new posters and things that he sent, and I think I found a way to do that. I was looking at this particular poster where it says Stalled Century Productions and Dragon's Wing Resorts proudly presents Dances with a Field of Vampires. I think what Bill's saying here is, well, at least the way I interpret it, why can't the Mandela effect be very clear cut? Why does it have to be so subtle? If the movie Dances with Wolves completely joined with Interview with the Vampire, then we'd know we were on to something. We wouldn't question ourselves. Why can't the movies just join into Dances with a Field of Vampires? Then we'd know. Or maybe we'd be able to convince somebody from time to time. But the point is, when I was looking at the top right of this poster, Dragon's Wing Resorts proudly presents. Bill has this whole theme of posters about Shredder Resorts and Casinos, Dragon Wing Resorts, and it's all about how strange the presentation from the Creeps is, and all the weird ways they do business under this theme of Dragon Wing Resorts for themselves. And I thought, what if the Dragon Wing Resort is on David Bowie Island? And that's kind of the skit, or bot, what's coming up is fiction. And I'm submitting it actually in an open letter, whatever that is. I hate that term. Open letter to Steven Spielberg. You know what that means? It means you and I will listen to it, and Steven Spielberg will never get the damn thing or never consider it. That's what an open letter is. Open letter goes right in the trash. But it's going to be an open letter coming up to Steven Spielberg, because you should take this dialogue coming, Steven. You should take it basically in storyboard fashion and make a movie out of it. Because when these celebrity deaths are faked, I mean, come on, how many are there at this point? At least 100 or more. When the celebrity deaths are faked, people want to know where they go. People want to know, where is the David Bowie Island? Does it exist? Who goes there? Who's allowed to go there? What elites are treated as VIPs there? Who gets the backstage pass? All kidding aside, guys, if you've experienced truth, and I don't jump into the weeds on this very often because we're beyond it. We're going to have fun with this. We're allowed to laugh from time to time. But in all kidding aside, in seriousness, I mean, a lot of these celebrities presented as dead, with David Bowie taking the cake. I mean, come on. Oh, he does Lazarus and Black Star just weeks before the Rising of the Dead and Lazarus. Oh, yeah, he's really, okay, give me a break. Yeah, give me a break. So who is Prince really mad? Who knows? Who knows how they do business in their creepy ways? But many of them are not. Okay, but is it worth spending a lot of time on? Is it worth spending a minute on? No, but it's worth laughing at, and that's what I try to do here. And of course, it'll be an open letter to Steven Spielberg. He should make this into a goddamn movie. What's coming up? Thank you, Bill, for the posters. And if you're driving or whatever, of course you should see the posters, but you probably could at least follow the dialogue. And it might stand alone, but it certainly it doesn't have much effect without the posters. I tried, but I couldn't work the Christmas with the Kennedys poster into the skit that comes up in about a minute from now, a minute and a half. The Christmas with the Kennedys poster, subtitle, Stop Santa, That Tickles. And that's from Lee Harvey there, as you can see in a minute. Who's tickling Lee Harvey? I can't say it's the magic bullet. Look, Bill's sense of humor is stranger than mine, but these posters are good. But as we do the skit, guys, and then continue the back end discussion about the ridiculous presentation of celebrity D's, people will be like, "Oh, he's going back to a screen exercise. See, he's breaking his own rules." No, we're allowed to laugh. We're allowed to laugh from time to time. But then that'll put off a whole nother section of truthers that come and go here. The truthers that just want the bad news, that are addicted to the bad news. Oh, Matt's not going to talk about anything dark today, then I'm going to skip his video and go over to BitChute. We got to get over that too, guys. A quick note before the initial narration and the posters follow with the narration a little bit later on. The creepy voice in the beginning is hard to understand, right? I realize that, and I cut it out quickly. So try to just listen closely. It goes away after just about a minute and a half. The scene is a futuristic hotel room, something akin to New York, in Las Vegas, but 40 years in the future. A man with tattoos, half naked, lies in the bed. A famous rock star, a Zephram Riff, has what you would call a mini mind wipe. He collects himself, not knowing where he is or how he got there. As the lead guitarist in one of the most famous rock bands in the world, Zephram had been in thousands of hotel rooms and destroyed about half of them. But there was something not quite right with the room. The TV was where it should be. On the nightstand next to the bed, there was a phone from yesteryear with a single button, not a dial pad, in order to connect to somewhere. A groggy Zephram stumbled off the bed and pulled back the curtains, blocking the window. Behind the curtains was glass, but a pitch blackness. Not that it was that dark outside, but as if the other side of the glass had been painted over so nobody could see out. Extremely confused at this point, he turned and walked over to where the door should be. Instead of finding a normal hotel room door, there was something that looked like a way to get in and out, but something with no knob, something with strange bolts across the top and the bottom that looked like it could only be opened from the outside. The phone began to ring on the nightstand.
Mr. Zephram Riff?
Yes? Hello?
We know you're still confused and groggy. There's a small white pill and a bottle of water on the table next to the television. Take the small white pill now. You've been brought here against your will because of the contract and agreement you made with us over 35 years ago, where you traded fame and fortune for a favor that will be called forth in the future. That favor is being called forth now. Your death back in the real world has been faked. I repeat, your death back in what you would call the real world has been faked. There are already mourners all over North America, Canada, and small parts of Brussels that are mourning your death with candle vigils right now. There is no going back.
Wait, what did you say? My death has been faked? Who are you people? Am I being held for ransom? Can I get a message to my wife and girlfriends?
I know you're still confused, but listen to me closely this time, you jackass. You made a deal with us a long time ago. As I said, your death has been faked. People believe you're dead. You're not being held for ransom. You will be taken to David Bowie Island, where you will live with all the other stars, political figures, and celebrities whose death has been faked in the past.
So my death has been faked. People, even my family and friends, believe I'm dead. What would be the point of faking my death? Like, what is going on here? Don't I have rights? I want to call my attorney. He's beaten 2 sexual assault charge raps and a drug rap. He can beat this, sir.
It doesn't matter what the point of it is, Mr. Zephram Riff. We have our reasons that you wouldn't understand. You must honor the contract. Everybody you knew back in the real world believes you're dead. You will play nightly shows with Michael Jackson, David Bowie, and others on David Bowie Island for our benefit. Now, turn the television on, Mr. Zephram Riff, and we'll show you the wonderful accommodations to where you're being taken.
Confused beyond imagination, Mr. Zephram Riff does what he's told. He has no choice. He moves towards the television and turns it on. A bright image appears, and somebody begins speaking to him as if they're in the room with him, or at least can see him through a monitor camera. Hey, Zeph, can you hear me okay? I can see you. My voice is coming out of the television.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I'm still confused. I mean, who the hell did I just talk to there? Is there a way to get a message to my family or kids or...
Zeph, listen to me very carefully, buddy. The big guy don't have time to talk to you all day. The big man has now handed you off to me. Okay? No, I'll say it for the big man one more time. Your death has been faked. Everybody back in the place you knew believes you're dead. So no, there ain't no way to get a message back to your family and friends. Clear your head. Okay? It's time to move forward. Your whole new life awaits you. Okay? Think of me as a Mr. Rourke. You ever see Fantasy Island? Think of me as a interim Mr. Rourke without the little tattoo that's going to introduce you to the wonderful new world that's ahead of you for the rest of your life on what the big man called David Bowie Island.
Oh, shit. This is fucking real. What the fuck should I call you, voice in the fucking television? Mr. Rourke?
Yeah, that's good for now, Zeph. You call me Mr. Rourke. Now you go back, sit down on the bed, relax. We're going to have some nice room service slid in through the little trap door at the bottom of the door. You won't be able to talk to them either, so don't try. Don't try to call or scream down the hallway. You're going to David Bowie Island, and there is no way back. But this isn't a prison sentence, Zeph. This ain't like watching Clint Eastwood in Escape from Alcatraz. It's an incredible, beautiful place. Consider it a reward for all that you've done to serve our systems. Sure, you're leaving your wife, family, kids, everything you knew behind, but this is incredible. People like David Bowie and Michael Jackson, they think it's wonderful. You'll be with them. Okay, now sit back on the bed and let me show you the incredible accommodations. It's a reward for a life well served, Zeph.
Okay, give me a minute to lay down on the bed. Show me the accommodations then.
One other small detail the big man might have left out, Zeph. These accommodations are not for you. You can enjoy them on your day off. You'll be working there. You'll be living and working there. You'll be serving a group of which you'll never ask their name, never approach them, but you'll be serving an audience of the people. You know, did you think presidents and prime ministers and premiers ran the world? Is that what you thought? See, it's these people. They fly from Los Angeles to what we now call David Bowie Island by way of Gilligan's Island. They come from all over the world, these sorts of people that really run things. See, these are great accommodations, and you can enjoy them on your day off, but you're going to be working there. See, let me just be straight. You an employee, son.
An employee? What do I have to do?
Just 4 shows a week, Zeph. Usually 4 night shows, sometimes 3 night shows. In a day show, you'll be playing to this group. You just call them VIPs. Don't ever approach them. Like I said, don't ever ask their name. You'll be playing to a group of very important people, VIPs, no more than 4 shows a week. On your 3 days off, you can enjoy the accommodations. You can lay on the beach. You can use the arcade room. You can stay in your hotel. You can order room service, whatever it may be. Think of it as your own private Sandals vacation hub on the 3 days off. But on the 4 days you're working, you're going to be serving this group of VIPs. Let's just make that clear.
I don't want to do this. I don't have any say in this. I don't have any rights. What government is this island under? Who are you people?
Zeph, you're trying my patience, buddy. Do you think it's all about you? Zeph, you're being selfish. You're being really selfish here. Do you think you're my only orientation today? Do you think it's all about you? I got the lead singer of the Scorpions I got to do after you. He's passed out down the hall in another room. Then I got to do the lead singer of Whitesnake, including all his ex-girlfriends, including the leathery old Tawny Katane. It's not all about you, Zeph. Now my time is limited. I'm here to help you. You're being selfish. I want to show you where you're going, tell you about the place so you're comfortable when you get there, so you know where to go, so you don't embarrass yourself. Now my time's limited. We're going to try this one more time. Are you going to shut up and let me do the orientation?
Oh, sorry. I'll be good. One last question, please. What if I just try to leave the island on my own?
Well, Zeph, I will answer that one for you. It's a good question. Elon Musk is working on a chip. And the chip that Elon's working on is far less intrusive. But I'm sorry to tell you, we still have the collar. We still have to give you the collar. Now, it doesn't look like a dog collar or a cat collar. It looks like a jewelry, piece of apparel, something that you chose to put on in the morning. But in terms of the collar, did you see the first few scenes of The Running Man? Schwarzenegger's The Running Man with the collar when they tried to escape, Yeah, you know what? We've had some incidences where people actually walk too far down the beach crossed over the laser line, and then the head went up like a cantaloupe. Do not go too far down the beach. Don't try to leave the island. Then the collar will never be activated, if you get my drift, Zeph.
I gotta live my life on this island and play shows with a collar? A collar that can never be taken off? At least is it some kind of gold or a nice looking piece of jewelry with a gem?
Sorry, man. I wish I had better news. We got Elon Musk working on it, but for now, the exploding neck collar is leather. It's an ugly piece of leather. Other people have complained about it. You're not the first one to voice concerns, and we haven't even fitted you for it yet. But yeah, unfortunately, the exploding neck collar is leather. We got people working on it. It will become much more fashionable for your performances, and we're on top of it. We care about you, Zeph.
Well, I guess that's all right. If Elon Musk is working on it, then that's pretty good, right?
Yes, it is, Zeph. Again, remember my other orientations, including Tawny Katane. We got to get to it. We got to start now, or you're not going to get the information. Here we go. On David Bowie Island, Zeph, your particular accommodations will be on the Dragon's Wing Resort and Spa. This is the brochure from the 10th Annual Hunger Games that we actually held, where we brought real people in to perform for our elites and VIPs, where the golf course was actually real traps. Somebody goes in the sand, they literally go in the sand, and they don't get out to play the next hole, if you see what I mean. It was a big hoot and really beloved by our VIPs, and we're going to do that again. You'll probably be there for that one to perform after the golf tournament. We have a copy of what your room key looks like here, and a picture of the lobby that's particular to the Dragon's Wing Resort. We've mimicked what Kubrick did in The Shining. So doesn't that look incredible? Zeph, I bet you wish you were there right now, don't you?
Well, I guess it's not bad, but there's a difference, I guess, being forced to go and choosing to vacation there. Either way, I agree, it's nice. Looks nice.
Okay, Zeph, let me bring the next image up on your television. This is our resort manager, specific to the Dragon's Wing Resort and Spa. This is the resort manager. That woman there was not a VIP, elite, and was not a bloodline. She actually tried to take a selfie with the resort manager in the background. She got eaten.
The resort manager, which I guess would be my boss there, the resort manager looks like the devil.
No, Zeph, it doesn't look like the devil. It is the devil. Yes, the literal devil. What's so hard to believe about that? It was hard to get him to work there, but we got him, man. It's a big success.
Well, what do I call him if he's my boss?
Well, you call him sir, you call him boss. Yes, boss. Yes, sir. You saw Fantasy Island. The plane, boss. He said boss. He didn't say the plane, Rourke. He don't ever reach out to the manager of the Dragon's Wing Resort by his first name. Don't ever call him Satan, man. It would take hundreds of years for you two to work together in establishing that sort of trust as a valuable employee of the Dragon's Wing Resort and Spa before you could ever even attempt to refer to him as Satan. Just boss, just sir for now.
What do you mean hundreds of years? I'm in my mid-50s. I've been doing drugs and alcohol hardcore my whole life. I've got 3 STDs. I'm going to live 15 or 20 more years. What do you mean hundreds of years? This worries me.
Well, see, Zeph, didn't you see, like the TV show Lost? This island it's on what you would call Earth, but it's not. It's a little bit of a netherworld. We've noticed that people only age at 1/1000th the time there. This is the way Satan likes it. He cast a few spells to make that so. You've got at least a few thousand years to work. See, people don't age the way that you thought there. Now, that's good news. Everybody wants to live forever, right, Zeph? You just got the greatest news of all time, buddy.
I guess, if it's nice, then maybe that is pretty good.
All right, Zeph, check this out. You're going to love this. Steve Wynn has provided all the casinos on Dragon's Wing Resort and Spa an exact replica of the Vegas Wynn and Encore, and we have an exact replica to the same exact size and scale of the cathedral at Cologne. See, we have certain VIPs that need to perform certain types of rituals, you could say, and they're very comfortable doing this is closed door stuff. You'll be performing for some of the VIPs and elites that go in for the rituals, but it'll be after everything's cleaned up. You won't be actually in there for the ritual itself. So this is one of the brochures we're most proud of, and what we were able to create, complete replica of the cathedral at Cologne. And you can see down the bottom the 4 things that we are so am proud of that we bring our elite and VIP guests when they come to this section of Dragon's Ring Resort and Spa. Rooms, restaurants, relaxation, and rehabilitation. The 4 R's.
I thought it was the 3 R's, but I didn't pay attention to that horse shit in high school anyway.
All right, Zeph, stick with me. Let me load another image onto your television there in your hotel room. Got to get your bearings here. We want you to be a valuable asset to the Dragon's Wing Resort and Spa and the Shredder on day 1. You want to be a valuable asset and helping Satan out on day 1. Now, don't you? There's the Cathedral at Cologne in the background, so you can get your bearing. Just off to the east, then, is our main outdoor spa and pool area. Now, over the water there, it says God's Tears. This is very personal to Satan. He refers to the waters in our main pool as God's tears. Don't ever question him on it. I've seen people cast away to the 9th plane of hell for just questioning what's different about the water. I've swam in the damn pool. It feels like water. You feel extra good when you get out. It's a nice 85 degrees. I love swimming in it. I ain't going to question why Satan calls it God's tears. Where he got the water is up to him. Don't ever ask him about it, okay? And if any of the VIP guests on the left ever ask you why it's called God's Tears, you saw Hogan's Heroes and Sergeant Schultz just say, I know nothing. Pretend like you don't know, no habla inglés, you don't even speak English. And if you ever think you recognize a guest, those people on the left that are VIPs and elites enjoying the David Bowie Island, particularly the amenities that we can bring forth on Dragon's Wing Resort and Spa, and you think that's Justin Trudeau. No, it's not Justin Trudeau. It's never the person you recognize. It's just somebody that looks exactly like them, but it's not them.
All right, I got it. If I don't want to be cast down to the 9th plane of hell, then I don't know why it's God's tears. I don't recognize anybody. And if anybody asks me a question, I'll run in the other direction with my guitar and pretend I don't speak English.
That's it, buddy. You learning? You're going to be a great asset to the Dragon's Wing Resort and Spa. Okay, Zeph, this is the next brochure loading to the television in your hotel room now. This is our famous Shredder slots that we're so proud of in the Wynn Hotel Casino on the island. And let me back up a second and make sure I gave you the right advice. It's not that you can't talk to any guest. If a guest comes up and, say, asks for directions or just some basic help, and you can provide that help, by all means, you're allowed to engage with the guest. So a guest would come up and say, where's the Shredder slots? You say, let me tell you, get on the yellow brick road here, go right under the Troll Bridge, right down Satan's Highway to the left, right, and you'll see the big magenta neon sign, Shredder slots. You can help VIP guests and elites in that manner, whether they're existing politicians, queens, kings. You can engage with all of them if it's simple directions or simple ways that you can help our guests. All right, I love this particular brochure. I put it together myself. Satan here stopped to pose with the winning hand, the famous card game between Henry Kissinger and Hillary Clinton, with all the stakes to see who would be managing the 7th plane of hell for the next 1,000 years. And Kissinger threw down the 3 6s as the winning hand. It was incredible. And then Satan held the winning hand up to pose for the picture, which made it onto the brochure. It's okay if it's giving you chills, Zeph. You will be on the island very soon, and you will be witnessing moments like that.
Well, if they played that card game to see who would manage the 7th plane of hell, they're both alive still, right? So who's managing the 7th plane of hell now?
Well, Joseph Stalin, of course. I thought everybody knew that. And when Kissinger takes over the 7th plane, Stalin will be promoted up to the 8th, of course.
Oh, well, makes sense, I guess. Sorry. Does he ever come to Dragon's Wing?
Yeah, Stalin's been there a few times. Even a manager of a plane of hell needs 2 weeks off from time to time. All right, Zeph, check this out. Loading to your TV in your room now. New image. This is the brochure that we put together for the famous U2 concert. Played 2 events at Dragon's Wing Resort and Spa before touring all over David Bowie Island for basically every elite and VIP you could imagine. It was an incredible event here that kicked off on the big day, September, but 2022. But you may remember, do you remember the 6 months that Bono kind of went away? Nobody knew where Bono was. His charity hadn't seen him. He wasn't doing any live events. The rest of U2, like The Edge, was like, well, the whole tour is canceled. Remember that? It was like a Where's Waldo, but where's Bono? Well, you see, Zeph, I can share with you what really happened. You're now a valuable team member of Dragon Wing Resort, and we don't keep secrets. See, Satan happened to have a few demons in that weekend. One demon, the demon Azazel, took a particular liking to Bono. He wasn't wearing rouge on stage, but he had this leather, and he had those cool blue glasses that wrap around, and the demon Azazel, which was the personal guest of Satan, took a particular liking to Bono. And he came up to Bono and he says, I booked us into the room together. And Bono says, well, you booked me into a room. I got to get back. I got a tour to resume. We got Tokyo, we got Belfast, we got London, then we got New York and Chicago and LA. And Azazel says, no, you don't understand. I booked us, you and me, Bono, into the room together. You either spend 6 months in the room or 60 million years in my plane of hell. Now you take your choice. And you know what, he took the choice that you would expect. That's what happened to Bono in that 6-month period. Very few people know about that.
Oh, wow. Is that what happened to Bono? He didn't look the same when he finally emerged back into the world. Wow.
You want to know who's playing now? On the stage that you'll take right after your on-site orientation, you're going to take over the same stage right when this event ends.
Well, yeah, sure. It's still show business. It's always good to know who you're opening up for or who you're following.
Okay, Zeph, image loading to your television now. This is the current production on the stage that you'll be taking. It's kind of an old show people are tired of. Vladimir Putin on the Ritz. Yeah, Putin on the Ritz. We've had a variety of different actors, some whose deaths have been faked, some are actually still considered alive on the mainland, come in. The show just never quite works. Once Satan got so upset with the production value and what he was seeing, he's a real perfectionist, Satan, when it comes to Broadway shows. He ordered the real Vladimir Putin to come in for certain scenes and ride around shirtless. Yes, the real Vladimir Putin while he's still alive. What, is he going to say no to Satan? Satan was that upset. Vladimir, he was going to go to a G7 concert, had to come in and ride around shirtless on a horse.
That's pretty amazing. I never would have taken Satan to be a thespian or a perfectionist when it comes to the performing arts. So, wow, I kind of appreciate that. If he's going to be my boss and I'm going to be taking the same stage.
Yeah, but as we talked about, don't catch his eye. And if he has guests in his box, it's like Phantom of the Opera, box 5. If he has certain guests with glowing eyes, look your worst is all I can say. Don't get their attention. You'll go away for 6 months. I'd like to thank the 3 or 4 people that are still with me, sticking around for the back-end screen exercise. This is the last poster I'll show. I know it's hard to read. I will zoom in on different segments as we move on. But this is the Shredder app. You can experience Dragon's Wing Resort Shredder amenities and services through the VR, through the app and VR headsets. And there the father says, or the kid being held by the father says, Daddy, I miss Mommy so much, because she's on the VR glasses all day doing the Shredder app. And then the husband says, damn you, Shredder, because he's lost his wife too. And people come to me and say, Matt, your reality presentations are pretty good, but sometimes you do something that makes me think you could be insane. Well, I'm completely normal compared to Bill presenting this sort of stuff and his sense of humor. It makes my sense of humor look completely normal. So just from the relative comparison aspect, Bill, you're making me look more presentable to people, and I appreciate that as well. But guys, let's do the back-end screen exercise. Now if this was a live chat, it would be like down to 2 people, down to 1. Let's do the back. Okay, do I really believe that George Michael, who had the #1 song in the world, who's known for, more than anything else, he's known for Last Christmas? Because everybody knows the Last Christmas song. You know, he gave him something else. He's known, okay, I know Careless Whisper, and you might know Father Figure in Faith because that's what you were into in high school, but the whole world, okay, the Western world, I hear you. The Zulu tribe in Africa isn't playing the classic Christmas stuff that comes on at your mall. But throughout the entire Western world, George Michael is known not for Careless Whisper, not for anything else. He's known for Last Christmas. It's been played 100 times more than anything else he's ever done. So about, was it 3 years ago? I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, he dies on Christmas. Okay, by itself, if it was the only sample size we had, it wouldn't be a lot. I'm no statistics QBA quantitative business analysis major, but it's 1 in 365. I got it. But, if we hadn't seen all the other presentations, the Whitney Houston, all the other ones we'll talk about in this screen exercise in the weeds part of having fun on the back end of this presentation. But then, you know what I'm going to say. His sister, I shouldn't laugh. Well, maybe I should. His sister, the next year, she died. Oh, George then lost his, well, he didn't lose. He had already died. When did she, Matt, you're not going to say she died on Christmas. Yep. So when you do the probabilities on that, which I just did, it's point oh, let me get this right, 0.000073. Okay, that's 5. That's not an O, it's a 0. It's not a letter, it's a number in this technical presentation. 5 of them before this. I don't even know how to convert that. I can't even convert that to a damn percentage. I know to move it over 2 places and then I'm lost. But it's low. And if that was the only one, I would say, well, I'll let that go. But then we got how did Whitney Houston die? It was a bathtub, right? Then her daughter in the bathtub? No. Then, see, this just goes on. It is the song that never ends. The ET Celebrity presentation, Entertainment Tonight, that never ends. It's weirder as they present the celebrity, you-know-whats, and I ain't buying it from Snatch. Well, that's all right, because I ain't selling it. All bets are off. When it comes to how creepy they do business, all bets are off. Can't just see a news story. Oh, he did it on Christmas and his sister? Oh, okay. No, all bets are off. You don't buy what the news presents. You got to look into what are they doing that sort of creepy horse shit for? Now, we could be wrong from time to time. Maybe Chris Cornell, maybe he did completely change his life, got sober, got healthy. I saw him in concert after he was sober. He was thin. He looked good. He radiated. Not that I came up and looked at his skin tone right up, but he looked good. Oh, then he had, maybe. I understand some of these people are unstable, but there's always like a back-end conspiracy, right? There's always a back-end story this weird illusory reality presents. It's not just that the celebrity died. There's always a back end. There's always a tail to it. That's the point. So Chester Benningfield, what was his name for Linkin Park? Chester Benningfield. Okay, he's a young guy. I don't know what he died in his early 30s, for example. If that was the end of it, that would be the end of it. There'd be nothing for lunatics like me to latch on to. But it's like, oh, look how he resembles Podesta. And then there's that whole back end that comes along. Well, Matt, you're falling for the bait, you jackass. They're planning the back end and they're attaching the back end to belittle. Yes, they do that. Yeah, we understand that now. But this I'm not going to present this presentation to Uncle Joe next Thanksgiving. This is just a fun talk amongst people that see the world the same way. So yeah, they do attach back end as much as they can. So then we start running our mouths at the Thanksgiving table, and they've been absolutely evil genius at belittling all of us, for the people around us, to our friends and family, even coworkers, where the stigma attached to us, not the stigmata. I guess that would be better to have a stigma. Again, one word's related to the other. Attached to us is there now forever, and that cement has hardened on our dumb conspiracy broke asses. Now, the one that takes the cake, though, is the prince to the queens. It's just, remember the percentages we added up with the George Michael and his sister? It was like 0.0050 zeros. And you want to do princes, it would be 1 in billions. If you wanted to do the individual probabilities, then you times them all together. No, it would be 1 in 10 billion at least. Oh, Matt, we're all familiar with this. 1 minute or less for anybody new. Prince died April whatever, 4 years. The Queen's 92nd birthday. So the whole world lights up in purple for the Queen. Then Prince dies the same day, so nobody has to even change the light bulbs. What are the fucking chances of that? I think I used this reference before. It's like Carrot Top, the horrible stand-up comedian dying on the same day as Bugs Bunny or something. I mean, that's not the greatest, but Carrot Top, who would be Orange Man? It's like that, but like a million times more. And of course, we wish Carrot Top the best. This is just an example. He's a young, well, he looks awfully strange nowadays if you've seen him close up, which I hope you haven't. The point about Prince, half the world's honoring the Queen, then Prince dies, so the other half of the world lights up. For example, the neighborhood where Spike filmed one of my favorite. I love this movie. I can't stand Spike, as you know, but I love Do the Right Thing. Love it. Of course, it's meant to create big R problems, of course, but scene by scene, I love it, okay? And my favorite character is, what's his name? Bugging Out. Boycott Sal's famous. Bugging. Come on, Bugging Out. Are you down? Yeah, I'm down, Jane. I'm down. We're going to boycott Sal's famous. And put no black people up on the walls. Sorry. See, his neighborhood ain't lit up purple for the Queen. Where Spike Mookie's delivering those damn pizzas. They don't give a shit, of course. But then that damn neighborhood lit up big purple, I bet, when they found out about Prince. So that's how the Queen got the other half to light up, if you see what I'm saying. So, obviously, it could be... Now, are we going to go back and forth in the weeds? This is the ultimate weed conversation. Is he off on the David Bowie Island playing tonight, Prince with the others? Or is it a ritual, a blank pause, like a sacrifice, or he's really, he really was kaput in that elevator. Well, no, Aerosmith loving an elevator was the opposite. Do you really believe? See, either way, it's not natural. Nobody outside with their head up their ass would. Everybody around us and our neighbors and our friends and family all believe it's just random. But we all, of course, it's not random. Did it really happen? And it was time for him to pay the piper. Kaput, or is he off? They just whisked him away and said, thanks for playing your 35-year role, Prince. Now join the others on David Bowie Island. We could go back and forth on that forever. We'll get nowhere. It doesn't matter. It's sometimes fun to have the conversation over a beer or so if anybody's joining me for a Pabst now. I haven't quite started my Pabst yet because I'm releasing this a bit early and I worked on it yesterday. But I believe many are on David Bowie Island. I don't believe it's like Bob Dylan type thing where they have it's time to pay up, Donnie Brasco. And no, I think with some, I think it's both. Okay, that's just me. I think there's no doubt. I don't want to start a completely new conversation here, but just the basic facts. There is absolutely many islands. I don't know if they're the size of a continent. I don't do the crater stuff and all that, but there are many places and land masses that don't appear on no maps. Of course, there's no question about it. I mean, that would have been so easy. Now, is it Diana Prince and the Amazon woman sealed behind a force field and all this weird shit? No, but there's places, and I think they give away truth. All that stuff. What was that big bot? I'm allowed to discuss a news story. There was a news story about that political donor Epstein or something in an island. Remember, there was that big news story. Through that, its truth is being delivered, not in the way the news is presenting it. That was all meant to suck in the truth community. That was another, pepperoni and mushrooms, and I'll take onions and peppers on my, gate. That's all that was. That was all bullshit. Bullshit. Well, Matt, it sounds like you're defending the sicko. Okay, this is exactly what they want. No, it's just telling you the truth of it is there are places that people can go. Okay, you just have to read between the lines. Maybe the size of, like, New Zealand is probably like a gateway to the day. That's why the New Zealand, a bunch of billionaires hang out. It's like the gateway for the elite. Maybe that place they go is you go by way of New Zealand, not Gilligan's Island like I alluded to earlier, but a freaking gigantic New Zealand-type landmass. No question about it. I mean, there's even truth that kind of pops out like that with all that horse shit about Admiral Byrd, and that's a first-grade truther thing. Matt, you don't believe Admiral Byrd was trying to help us? No, I don't. It's a bunch of horse shit planted into the truth community. What based on what research, Matt? Where you reside? With your research, based on nothing but intuition. That's all I need, inner knowing. Where am I going to go? Go to the Library of Congress, walk in there and ask the assistant librarian to direct me to the books on Admiral Byrd? You think that would help me out? No. It's based on intuition. But even that story is saying there's other places to go in this world. There are a lot of general news stories. If you read between the lines, the truth of it is there's a lot of places to go that don't appear on no map. Why does before the Public Enemy song comes into my head, what does Chuck D say there? My heroes don't appear on no stamp. That's what he says. I love it. I love Flava Flav and Chuck D in the original Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet. But I just saying the album title. I don't fear that personally. I welcome that. But it's the album title. Chuck D, Flava Flav, Fear of a Black Planet. And Flava Flav went on to have a 5-year relationship with Brigitte Nielsen after Sylvester Stallone threw her out back. So the related point was there's a lot of places to go that don't appear on no map. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So the main point is, again, that news articles come where it tells you that if you can read between the lines of the horseshit they're putting out through Don the Lemon and giving to the masses, like the John Kerry story. The Hillary election day. Hillary, I guess Trump it was it? Or it might have been before that. It doesn't matter. The big story. John Kerry is traveling to Antarctica. Why would he? He's a big Hillary supporter, or he could be out doing last-minute campaigning if any of that was legitimate for Hillary. But he had to travel to Antarctica. Of course, that's a bunch of horseshit. What is the real truth of coming out? Well, maybe we don't exactly know why John Kerry had to take a trip off to see Santa Claus, but it tells you, okay, there are other places to go. It tells you what we already know. Antarctica certainly isn't what's presented. And what's that damn dog show or dog movie with the guy from Fast and Furious 8 Below? It's a pretty damn good movie. I shed a tear with those damn dogs stuck down there in Antarctica. But that's a bunch of horse shit in terms of how they present Antarctica. Oh, that just like the movie 8 Below and all the other, expeditions. If you just go out 30 miles away from your base camp, you are dust in the wind, boy. You better have 5 layers and 47 jackets. And I'm sure there's a lot of it that is cold, no doubt about it. But there's whole parts of it. Of course, that is not what is presented. Could be like parts of Iceland, hot springs, vacation lands. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I don't dive into all this crater nonsense, but there could be a whole nother landmass. Doesn't mean we live in the damn moon, but there could be another landmass. Who knows? Of course, we're kept in a cage. I mean, that's nothing new to us. Could be fucking Club Med on the other side of the damn Antarctica for all we know. So we hear these horseshit stories in the news. John Kerry on election day needs to travel to Antarctica, and not the Pope, the Orthodox Pope, the Russian Orthodox Pope had to make his journey to Antarctica. A lot of penguin lovers in certain groups of politicians and celebrities, even the buzzed man himself, Neil and Buzz. He had to go to, then there was a big, Matt, don't you know there was a medical crisis? Oh, yeah, I believe that. Oh, I'm sure. He goes, why did Don Lemon tell you that? It's just what is being presented? We know that's false. What is the truth of it? In these weird stories, they're saying there to me, and they've been saying this for a long time, there are other places to go that Chuck D would say that don't appear on no map or stamp. Matt, remind me of the reason we're even having this discussion right now, based on the skit and everything talked about earlier, because it would be incredibly simple for there to be even something that approaches the size of a continent, where certain people that have played certain roles or done certain things could be it's not like in the skit the guy was like it was like Squid Gamed or whatever. He was knocked out, and these people like Bowie would want to go. He's tired of not being able to walk down the street. He just go off to a landmass, something the size of California, where you could ski in the afternoon, then hit the beach at 80 degrees later that evening. Of course, who knows what's 20 miles south of Tahiti. The damn Tahitians don't even know. So they probably want to go, okay, they've served their role. We're going to cake in a lake your kaput demise. They were probably thrilled to go out there. I don't know, but Matt, their families are still here, are they? I don't know. I don't pay any attention. Whitney took her daughter, maybe, right? Who knows? Who knows? But this isn't even conspiracy, folks. Well, it is. Okay, it is. But this is in terms of us noticing or looking how they operate, it's so easy for them. This isn't one of these reality breakdowns. How would they pull this off? How would they pull that off? Very simple. I mean, to do what they did with David Bowie, just a piece of cake, and then he's living somewhere else, and he can walk down the street, and he's not mobbed, and he's loving every bit of it, kind of like a reward. No, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't believe that David Bowie. I mean, that's what they wanted the truth community to believe. Of course, of course, it was all by design. They did make that guy look like David or dress someone, of course, and then they planted it in the truth community. But David Bowie himself, come on, no. In the same way, probably with that whole thing that came out with Kavanaugh. What was the Kavanaugh hearings? Who was that? Well, was it real? I mean, it was meant, of course, something else then implanted into the truth community for two main reasons. One, so we spin our wheels, and two, so we are belittled in the face of all the people around us. It's not like they had to, no, Matt, they had to do that ritual, and then we caught him. You really think that's it? Oh, we caught him? No, see, what we've learned over the last 10 years is when we caught him, that was a mistake. Look, we caught him, a guy flying by on a wire. When we caught him, guess what? They wanted to be caught, you jackass. Thanks for listening.